All right. So a mind state that completely kind of helped me navigate life has been that I'm fully in control of my circumstances. And I say fully in control is because if I don't have physical control of something that's happening, then I have the power um, to control how I feel and think about whatever is going on in my world at the moment, right? There was times where I didn't, where I used to leave things up to chance and to quote unquote the unknown. But I realized that we create from the unknown. So you're kind of navigating life with your flashlight is your intuition, basically. And you don't know the exact outcome. You don't know someone else's reactions or intentions because those are the parts that are hidden. That's the part that's unknown is the outcome and someone's intentions, thoughts, feelings, because you only have full control and full knowledge of what you are thinking, what you are feeling, or you can get to the bottom of your thoughts and your feelings. But the unknown factor is everything else, right? So what I realize is that I'm pulling from that unknown, but we're always creating from the unknown. We're always in charge of our situations, and the only way we create beneficial and fruitful situations for ourselves is when we realize that that is our power, that is our control, is the way that we think and the way that we feel about everything that goes around us. It's also very important to listen to your intuition because, again, like I mentioned, intuition is sort of your flashlight through the unknown world. So if you pick up that someone is um, whatever the intuition you have towards something, um, take that first thought into consideration. Um, because then intuition happens as a flash you see, and then a lot of other thoughts come in. A lot of if you're very empathetic or if you're I don't know, very worldly, I don't know how to say it, then you're going to start thinking of other possibilities. But sometimes intuition is just a flash, a flashlight, something quick. You can't see the whole scope. You just get a little glimpse of what could be. So let intuition help you navigate through the unknown. Let intuition guide you through situations where you don't know people's intentions, but you have an inkling. Take that into consideration. You know, don't crash out on the situation. But if you have a intuition, make sure you honor it by observing. And that's the best thing you can do with intuition. If you don't know how to navigate the situation, if you just have an intuition but you can't really pinpoint it, just observe. Let that flash of light, pun intended, flash of light, flash of information, kind of guide you through the experience. Just fill it out, observe it, and then once you gather more information, once you gather more light on the unknown, what is unknown, what was unknown to you at one point, then you can make a better decision for the direction that you're going in. And basically, that's how we're all navigating life. Life can be very unpredictable, but you want to keep sometimes intuition open to information, not ruling it out. Don't rule out your intuition. The reason why you have that intuition is so you can pay attention to a certain um, possibility. That's a certain possibility that this may happen this way. There's a certain possibility that this person, based on their actions and based on the intuition that you're picking up, is this type of person. And so it's just a piece of information. I think don't dive too deep into an assumption based on the intuition. Just gather some more information, do the research. And you can only do that type of research. And we're not talking physical. We're talking about metaphysical. You can only do that type of research by being the observer, observing things. You come, I think that's where science derives from. The observation. We're observing, and then we're coming to conclusions about things. That's why we do. I used to love the science fair. I was really good. My hypotheses were always on point. They're easy, but but you're always they're teaching us also in school whether you believe certain school systems are indoctrination or not, but they're also teaching us how to observe in certain science, with certain sciences. So we all have to kind of be the observer. Your intuition, the flash that you're unsure of, is your hypothesis, right? So that is your intelligent guess on the situation. That is what you're gonna be focused, not focused solely on. That's not the only focus, but it's the possibility. You're writing it down. You're writing it down, jotting it down mentally. This is a possibility that this outcome can go this way. And now you go into the situation, you go through the experience, um, and you arrive at a conclusion. Some intuitions don't require for you to go through the whole experience. If you have a very strong intuition that you just cannot shake, follow that. That is just a clear indication. But if you have an inkling, which I get a lot of those that's how my intuition plays out. Is just because I feel I'm being pushed more out to experiment and get to know the unknown a little bit more, because I am so introverted. So my intuitions require, I can't prejudge all the way with my intuition. It requires a level of research. It requires me to go into the situation a little bit deeper, a little bit longer, to observe a little bit more, to gather the right information. But if you have a very strong intuition, if you have something that you know, just concrete, I feel it, I can see it. You follow your intuition, follow that strong intuition. But if you're like me and you just get those little sparks of intuition, put that in your possibility, but let the experience play out. So you are the scientist. This is your hypothesis. Your flash of intuition is your hypothesis. Now you're gonna let the experiment play out. That's all. That's it. That's all. And you're just observing what the information that you're gathering from the experience, from the situation, right? Um, so yeah. But if you're going to arrive at a conclusion because you have a strong intuition, then you just know that's it. You don't need to do much scientific experiment. You don't need to do so much mental gymnastics. You just know that's it, and that's it, and you honor that. But you're going to arrive at situations where sometimes you make a definite call and you're right, and sometimes you make a definite call and you're wrong. I guess for me, the reason why I don't make super definite calls, mainly because I don't get huge. If it's a strong intuition, I always honor it, whether right or wrong. But I've been wrong, so I've been able to kind of pay attention to the slight flashes of intuition and kind of just navigate those with the open mind, but a open mind, but there's still that intuition playing in the background. Like, okay, still pay attention to that, still observe that, but keep an open mind that things don't have to be just that. It's just a flash. Have you ever seen something in the dark, and when you turn on the light, with the limited light that there's in the dark, maybe just like a window or something, just a little bit of light, you make an assumption on a figure, and it comes from, like, intuitive, that figure looks that way, and you think is that, but when you turn on the light, it's a complete different. When you gather more information by turning on the light, it's a completely different figure. So you kind of want to do that also with intuition. And I guess that's it. That's all for me. I think listening to your intuitions is very important. It's, again, that's our flashlight in the unknown. We can't possibly know what everyone's thinking. We can't possibly know what everyone's feeling. We can't possibly know the outcome to every situation. There's chance that things are completely different than what we think it is. But how we heighten our probability, our chances, is by listening to our intuition, and then being the observer of that inkling, of that intuition, basically conducting scientific experiments in the situations that you get intuition for. Not everything is a scientific experiment now. There's just situations that are what they are, and there's situations that are just mundane, that don't require anything. Life is just sometimes life. Life is not this exciting thing that you need to always constantly evaluate and conduct experiments on. Sometimes life is just very mundane. Sometimes I feel like life is sometimes like a plant. Like, it's exciting when you see the plant kind of burst out through the soil. You water it. The new experience is very cool, and when you get to the fruit and when you get to the growth, it's very exciting. It's nice. But there's a point in time where life can be just very that it's going through a state. It's growing. It's going through a stage. It's mundane. Um, so not everything needs a hardcore experiment. You don't need to be a mad scientist at every moment, but you must be a scientist of your own life, of your own experiences. Most you're always going to be there. That's always going to be your role, the observer, the scientist. But it's not hardcore research and data driven every moment, every instance. Sometimes you can just relax and let things here. Our intuition doesn't need to be on 10 all the time. Sometimes with time and sometimes through mundane situations, intuition, inklings reveal themselves. You just have to make sure you have that eye, that ear, um, just to catch what what it is, what's going on throughout that cycle of growth, throughout that cycle of mundaneness, whatever it is. Uh, So yeah, that is my that's all I have actually. I don't know. I just felt like talking about intuition. I'm going to really trust my intuition. If you're ever on these journeys of getting to know yourself better, which everyone should be, I think it's very important to know who you are or what you like, what you don't like, your boundaries, and things like that. I've always been on a journey of that. Sometimes I have really big crash outs. Sometimes, it goes by smooth. However, always in a journey of getting to know who I am at the moment that I'm in, because you change the only thing that's constant is change, and sometimes you are this at this moment, but life goes into a different direction and you become something else. I mean, your essence is still there. I'm still the person that's going to evaluate who I am, right? But how I'm reacting and how I'm thinking about things is subject to change. And obviously, the situations are always going to be ever changing. So it's always good to take some time to get to know yourself in every step of every level that you get to. Don't ever stop trying to figure those things out for yourself and trying